Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio, this is SGTV News 4.
Good evening. Our top story tonight. Drug company Pfizer released today that their vaccine has proved 90% effective in its latest trial. Pfizer said that it is on track to get FDA approval for emergency use for the shot before the end of this month, if pending data continues to indicate that the vaccine is safe. This timetable suggests the vaccine could go into distribution this month or the next. This major piece of encouraging news comes after COVID-19 has killed more than 1.2 million people worldwide, including almost 250,000 in the United States alone. Pfizer's Senior Vice President of Clinical Development, Bill Gruber, said to the Associated Press that they are very encouraged about this COVID-19 breakthrough.
Alex Trebek, the longtime Jeopardy host, passed away peacefully yesterday morning in his home at 80 years old. Trebek was diagnosed in March 2019 with pancreatic cancer. The executive producer of Jeopardy, Mike Richards, shared this morning on the Today Show that Trebek spent his final day watching the horizon with his wife, Jean. Trebek began as the host of Jeopardy in 1984 and continued to host the show even through his health battle. Fans of Trebek from across the world have taken to social media to express their sadness over his passing, and even some sharing personal stories on how Trebek has changed their lives for the better.
Over the weekend, Joe Biden was named president-elect. On Saturday, the Associated Press, NBC News, and others called Pennsylvania for Biden, putting him over 270 electoral votes. A Biden administration also means a historic vice presidency, with Kamala Harris poised to be the first female, as well as the first female of color, to hold the office of vice president. However, this comes with controversy as the Trump campaign has filed several lawsuits in key states claiming voter fraud. He's also called for a recount in many states. South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham was able to hold on to his office in a fiery race against Jamie Harrison. Senator Graham is now backing Trump, announcing Thursday night that he was pledging $500,000 to help aid the Trump campaign's legal battles. While the presidential election may be behind us, Georgia's Senate seats are likely headed for a runoff to determine whether Republicans will maintain control of the U.S. Senate.
The campus COVID-19 case tracker is citing that 83 students and 5 employees currently have coronavirus. Every campus alert factor remains at the new normal except for mitigation behaviors, which is hovering around the moderate alert level. Over 1,000 students at USC have been reported for COVID-19 violations this semester. 64 have received delay suspensions, 44 have faced interim suspensions, and 52 have been punished with delayed housing removals. Out of 2,735 campus cases since August 1st, 2,647 have recovered. USC is still offering free testing and antibody testing as winter break approaches. And Lydia, obviously a great idea to go ahead and get a test before you head home for winter break, especially as we embark on some colder months here in South Carolina, even though it still feels a little bit warm outside.
Of course, and it's great to know when you're going home that you're safe, so you're not spreading that to any loved ones at those Thanksgiving gatherings.
Absolutely.
For sure. After the break, we'll have Caden Dinkins with your weekly weather.
Good evening, I'm Spencer Buckler. Coming up tonight, for years the minimum age to tomorrow, the World Health Organization, there have been a reported 916 flu.
A study from the National Academy of Medicine
Sam
states
Tully and staffers here at the Big.
Many members of the Carolina community.
Hip Hop Wednesday is a culture phenomenon here at the University.
Caden Dinkins, meteorologist, here with your weather. For this week's headlines, we have likely showers starting on Tuesday as we see Ida start coming towards South Carolina, with a chance of thunderstorms starting on Wednesday. Now it slows down a little bit with the storms starting on Thursday, but there's still heavy rain and on possible rain through the weekend as that storm is starting to slow down. Now the highs for the state today is 75 in Greenville in the upstate, 76 in Greenwood, and 76 in Rock Hill. As we move down to the Midlands, it is 75 in Columbia, 73 in Aiken, 80 in Orangeburg, 78 in Sumter, and 78 in Florence. Now as we move to the coast, it is a little bit warmer in Charleston, 80 degrees, and then 78 in Hilton Head and 77 in Myrtle Beach. Now, right now it is 71 degrees and it feels like 66, so it's a little bit cool, but with that humidity, it makes it a little bit warmer at 79%. The wind is moving east at 7 miles per hour. Now for this week, like I said, as we see Ida move in, Tuesday the rain is very likely with a high of 81 and a low of 69. And on Wednesday, we start to see those possible storms rising again, with a high of 78 and a low of 69. Thursday, we see that heavy rain with a high of 79 and a low of 66. Friday, there is a chance of showers with a high of 76 and a low of 57. And then Saturday, we see it clear up a little bit with a little bit of showers that are likely, but mostly partly sunny, and then a high of 69 and a low of 57. Lastly, we have a chance of showers on Sunday and continuing through Monday with a high of 75 and a low of 60. That's all I have for you.
All flags, including the one at the South Carolina State House, will be flown at half-staff until
The alumni help inform South Carolina legislators about the many ways that USC benefits
Baseball has started off their 2020 campaign 4-0 after sweeping Holy Cross,
South Carolina at the Carolina State Fair. It is the national and international.
13 cases of infected people in the U.S., but experts here at USC say there is no reason.
Tonight is doing their comedy sketches. That's another branch of SGTV. It's a big deal. It's going to be
60 again, but those showers are showing up. Tuesday will be 68th Super Bowl.
In 50 years, they took down the San Francisco 49ers 31.
First Filipinos in California in October of 1587.
Welcome back. I'm CADE CRENSHAW with your sports update. Last night, Coach Will Muschamp said that the Gamecocks don't have a clear starter at quarterback heading into this weekend's game at Ole Miss. In this past Saturday night's 45-point loss to Texas A&M, starter Colin Hill threw for just 66 yards with 2 interceptions before he was benched in the fourth quarter. Sophomore Ryan Helinski came into the game and led the Gamecocks on their only scoring drive of the night, ending in a field goal. And freshman Luke Doty also had a few snaps against the Aggies. With the uncertainty of who the starting quarterback will be this week, South Carolina will travel to Mississippi this Saturday night at 7:30 on the SEC Network. In what has been an injury-plagued 2020 season for the NFL, the Carolina Panthers got some good news yesterday as running back Christian McCaffrey played in his first game in 6 weeks after rehabbing an ankle injury he suffered back in Week 2. But the good times, well, they didn't last. At the end of Sunday's game, McCaffrey suffered a shoulder injury that may force him to miss some more time. Before the injury, McCaffrey looked to be back at full speed with 151 total yards and 2 touchdowns. But once again, the Panthers will now lean on former Gamecock Mike Davis to lead the charge in Carolina. And finally tonight, the 2020 NASCAR season wrapped up yesterday as Chase Elliott took home the Cup Series championship. Elliott, who's the son of former NASCAR champion Bill Elliott, became the 3rd youngest Cup Series champion at just 24 years old. And as one rising star won his first title yesterday, one of the most successful drivers in history also called it a career. Jimmy Johnson, the number 48 car, had announced earlier this season that 2020 will be his last year in the NASCAR Cup Series. Johnson's 20-year career included 374 top 10 finishes across 686 races and most notably 7 Cup Series championships, which is tied for the most all-time alongside Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. Johnson says that he plans to use retirement to spend more time with his family, and he'll also be running a partial IndyCar season coming up next year. And Kendall, it's tough to see Jimmy Johnson go. Growing up, he was always my favorite driver, so it's tough to see him go, but what a historic career the number 48 had.
As one legend leaves, we see a young star in Chase Elliott come up and perform yesterday. So sad to see Jimmy Johnson go, but really excited to see what the future has in store for him. And I have to say, if I were 24 years old and Chase Elliott and just won all that money, I'd be pretty darn happy.
You know, one other 24-year-old that's won a championship that comes to mind is Jeff Gordon. And obviously, he's on the Mount Rushmore of NASCAR, kind of in the mix there. Tonight, decided to go with the gold tie, the blue suit, tribute to the 48.
You came to play. You came to play on the suit game. Some fashion advice as well as the sports news. Thanks so much, CADE. And thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at SGTV News 4 to keep up to date on all things USC. For SGTV News 4, I'm Kendall Smith.
And I'm CADE CRENSHAW. Have a great week, Carolina. Forever to thee.